Hey folks, now I'm doing my best to be constructive with these videos. I don't like just poking at people. I don't like just condemning people or being negative. It's just not my shtick. It makes me feel kind of gross, to be honest. I like, when I do these videos, to take something that I've seen and to offer it to you in a way that I've reframed it, that we can all learn from, so that we can all grow from, even when it's not a message that's incredibly instructive, right? Even when it's not an event or a sermon that I found incredibly constructive. How can we take those words? How can we take those experiences and use them for ourselves? Well, this weekend I watched a couple of sermons. They were pretty wild. Lots of Joe Biden talk, lots of Donald Trump talk. One guy even talked about aliens. And this guy that was talking about aliens is on a well-known show. He is a well-known personality. He's talking about aliens are going to come in the next 5 or 6 years, and they're going to lay waste to the earth, and so on and so forth. But this one guy I listened to, and I listened to him a fair bit because usually I'm going to hear something that'll rattle me a little bit, shake me back into the reality of how much the world needs to hear the gospel. This fellow's a pastor from Tennessee. And of course, he was going on about Joe Biden. He was going on about Joe Biden being the president. And if you think that Joe Biden's the legitimate president, you're out your damn mind. Oddly enough, he was preaching from 2 Timothy chapter 4. In particular, that verse where Paul is talking to Timothy and he says, "The day is coming, Timothy, when people are going to turn their ears to words and to speakers who are pleasing to them." It's that passage that Christians will often throw at other Christians as condemnation. You're those people that Paul warned us about. You're those people that are turning their ears and saying those things just because people want to hear it. I found that ironic, given what he was talking about. And as I began thinking about it, because he makes the point that you got to follow the truth. You got to be listening for the truth. You got to be listening for the truth. If you're not listening for the truth, you're a sucker, and the world's going to take advantage of you. You got to be listening to the truth. Bible tells you don't have to do anything for lies. You don't have to believe in a lie. You got to believe in the truth. I began asking, well, what's the truth? What does that mean? How are we supposed to know what the truth is? How do we know when somebody is sharing with us the truth? How do we know when somebody is speaking the truth to us? When somebody is communicating truth? Somebody is offering truth? Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. We've been conditioned to continuously second guess. We've been conditioned over the last 50, 60 years to continually look deeper, to go down the rabbit hole. That couldn't have been a lone gunman. Must have been more people involved. That couldn't have been an exterior job. That had to have been an inside job. That couldn't have been how it happened. Something else must be taking place. We're always looking for that shadow lurking in the corner. We're always looking for the smoking man. We're looking for the conspiracies. And that's not just, the QAnon garbage that's out there. It's what we are always looking for, something else to justify what it is that we're seeing. So I don't know what the answer is. Like if I were to say to you, well, if you want the truth, then look for X, Y, and Z. And whenever you see X, Y, and Z, okay, that person's telling you the truth. But what I am going to offer you today is an alternative. So rather than looking for the truth, look for love. We don't necessarily know if the message that is being conveyed to us is truth. But we can see when the message that is conveyed to us conveys love. contains love, calls us to love, tells us that we are loved, asks us to love others, asks us to be there for others, asks us to take care of others, asks us to give of ourselves for others. Those messages, whether they're truthful or not, we just can't seem to go wrong when it comes to love. It is really complicated for us to try to figure out what is truth and what is not. But it is not complicated for us to see, to feel, to observe love. If that fella talking about the aliens coming in 5 or 6 years had said, aliens are coming in 5 or 6 years, and what I need you to do is get out there in your community and you need to start helping your neighbors get ready. You need to start helping to feed your neighbors and to clothe your neighbors and to take care of your community. You need to be out there preparing your community for this inevitable alien invasion so that as many people in your community as humanly possible can survive, and you need to love them and care for them and nurture them and lead them and equip them and empower them and strengthen. Fair enough. All right, maybe the guy's full of crap when it comes to the aliens coming, but the call to be out there in the community, okay, I can dig that. I can be all over that. That is a message of love. Sure, it comes from an absolutely misguided and delusional place. But the message is still all about loving others. Can't go wrong with it. You can't go wrong with it. What if you went out into the community and did all those things? What if you went out and loved your neighbor as yourself? What if you went out and loved God with all your heart? What if you went out and loved the stranger and loved your friends and loved your family and showed mercy and tenderness and forgiveness and empathy? What if you did all that stuff and aliens didn't show up in 5 or 6 years? Worst case scenario, a lot of people felt loved by you. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord's face be made to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord's countenance be lifted up to you. May you always know the peace of being in the Lord's presence. And I pray that as we tune into those messages that are coming our way, we'll begin filtering them out with that filter of love. Accept those messages that call you to love. Reject those messages that call you to other things. Amen.